When you think of gaming on a Dell, you might imagine Alienware or one of those powerful business-class laptops. But this year, Dell has released a new 16-inch gaming laptop with a 13th gen CPU and a 4000 series graphics card, which costs around $1,500. Is the lower price compromising its performance? Don't go away, let's find out. Why else are you here for if not for gaming? Let me tell you this, the Dell G16 is easily capable of running your favorite AAA games. For example, Red Dead Redemption 2. With medium settings at 1080p, it runs at an average of 112 FPS, which is not bad at all. Take a closer look at the graphics and the frame rate on this benchmark test. If you want to turn it up a bit more, running at high settings will give you 64 FPS on average, which is still decent in most gaming standards. I gotta tell you that the 4070 is a solid GPU for its 2560 by 1600 resolution. However, some AAA games might demand you to drop a few settings, but most games today will run beautifully on this machine. Now, how can this Dell laptop perform so well? We can find that out by looking at what's inside. The G16 has an Intel Core i9-13900HX paired with an RTX 4070 with 140W maximum TGP. If I should say so, it's on the mid to higher end. As for the rest of the specs, it comes with a 6GB dual-channel RAM, which you can upgrade all the way up to 64GB if you want to. And the laptop also comes with a 1TB SSD, but of course, if you want more space, you can slap a second SSD into the other slot. Now, both slots can take up to 8TB each, which means that you can theoretically have up to a whopping 16TB of storage on this laptop. Now, a great gaming laptop is only useful with great connectivity, and this laptop won't disappoint since it has Wi-Fi 6. It may not be Wi-Fi 6E, but I think it's good enough. If it ain't good enough for you, it has a 2.5GB Ethernet, no problem. The G16 has a 16-inch 2560 by 1600 panel with 165Hz refresh rate. It has been advertised as having a latency of only 3 milliseconds, but of course there's still some overall system latency, which on a gaming laptop, I appreciate every millisecond that I can cut. Now, this laptop has a maximum brightness of just around 300 nits, which is not a lot for outdoor use. Take a little time to appreciate the graphics this laptop screen has to offer. While this laptop plays great and is well spec'd, the next question is, does it look great? This is not a premium Alienware level device, nor is it low end, but I think it's perfectly in between. It's an inch thick, which might not sound much, but it does make the laptop look quite thick at first glance. It's not just thick, it's quite heavy too at 6 pounds. The lid is made of anodized aluminum, which adds some weight, but it's also more sturdy. On the other hand, the interior and bottom panels are plastic, which is expected in this range. The overall construction ended up pretty solid. There's minimal flex on both the keyboard and the lid, and the hinges are smooth and stable. As for the keyboard, Dell's got a very neat setup here. The keys are tactile, almost bordering on clicky, thanks to the short and sharp tactile bump. It's an interesting feel, offering a mix of precision and responsiveness. For those who can't live without their RGB, the G16 delivers, albeit in a modest fashion. The keyboard lights up, but it's a single-zone color setup, so customization options are limited. But honestly, it does the job and adds just the right amount of flair without ever going overboard. As for the trackpad, I would say that the surface moves a bit too far down when clicking, especially on the right-hand side. But with a smooth surface and the availability of gestures, I think this can be fairly negligible. Besides, it's a gaming laptop. I bet you'll have a mouse on it most of the time. As for the ports, the left side of the laptop has a 2.5GB Ethernet port and a 3.5mm audio combo jack. and the right side has two USB-A ports. Like the Legion laptops, this has rear side ports, which include a Type-C port with DisplayPort and Thunderbolt 4 if you get the RTX 4070 spec like the one here. There's also an HDMI 2.1 port and a power input. With the important ports at the rear, you won't see cables getting in the way, which means it's great for both left and right-handed gamers. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the battery life. With the G16's impressive power, what can you expect? It's a mixed bag. It's a huge 86 watt-hour battery. On light workloads, you're looking at around 4 hours plus about 30 minutes of use. Not too shabby, but still not great. Crank up the gaming or use heavy apps, it dwindles down to about an hour and a half. With laptops in general, I think the charger has become a major consideration as well. Apple did great with charging their latest MacBooks with the option of USB-C and MagSafe. I don't know what pushed Dell to ship a massive 330 watt charger with a Dell G16. Usually, you see these chargers with 17 or 18-inch laptops. It would mean faster charging times for the Dell G16, but it's also unnecessarily bulky. The USB-C ports on this laptop cannot be used to charge the device. I think this is one of the rare times that the Apple device ends up having more options. The Dell G16 is a strong mid-range contender. While it has its quirks, like the bulky charger for example, its gaming prowess and upgradability makes it a solid choice for anyone wanting to dip their toes in gaming. If you want to get the Dell G16 now, you can scan this QR code or check the links in the description box below. You will be taken straight to Amazon right away. And if you found this review helpful, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more reviews just like this one. As always, this is Marty and I'll see you in the next video.